Hi everyone, Mr. Kennedy here. Today we are going to be learning how to draw Baby Yoda.
All right, so the first thing you might notice today is that my paper is landscape style. That means it's going long way, not portrait style, but landscape style. We want it going the long way. So to get started, first thing we're gonna do is start with the head. So I'm gonna start with first I'm gonna start with kind of a flat line going across, almost flat. We want it to curve up just a little bit. And from here, we're gonna make kind of a circular shape, but it's not a perfect circle. Almost like the top of a muffin. So now what I want to do is I want to start to mark out his ears. So I'm going to take my fingers, I'm going to measure out kind of the side of his head, I'm going to move my fingers over, and now I'm just going to mark with my pencil. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. This is going to tell me just about how big I want to make his ear. So I want this ear to go to this point, this ear to come to this point. So first, not going to start on the top of his head, but kind of to the side. I'm going to make a straightish line. Again, it's going to be similar to this line, where it's going to curve just a little bit. Now, once we get to this point, our stopping point, we're going to come down just a little bit, make almost a triangular shape, and then we're going to bring it back in towards the head. We want to start off kind of straight, and as it gets closer to the head, we're going to curve it in. Now, after this, we're going to make one more shape. We're going to bring back towards the ear. This is kind of the tougher part of his ear. Right now, we're about to draw the inside part of his ear. And right before we get into the head, we want it to curve up a little bit. All right, now we're going to do the same thing for this ear on this side of our paper. So again, we're not going to start at the top, kind of on the side, and we want straightish lines, going to curve up a little bit. And then once we get to that point, stop, we're going to bring it in. Triangle shape. We want it to stay kind of straight. As it gets closer towards the head, though, we are going to bring it down lower. Made that a little too steep. Let's try that again. Yeah, I like that one better. Okay. So again, now we want this shape again. So we're going to start back up at the top. We're going to bring it down. And again, as it gets closer to our head, that's when we want it to start to hook back up again. All right, now I'm going to draw a quick little plus sign in the middle of Yoda's head. That's going to separate the left and the right side, and now I want another one that's kind of in the middle of his ears. That's going to be where I start to put his eyes. Down here, at the corner of his head, we can start to make his cloak or jacket, whatever the robe is he's wearing. So now I'm not going to make his line going straight, but I'm going to curve it out. Kind of same, almost kind of same curve as his head, but not going any further than the side of his head. Now the tricky part is we want one of these to be longer than the other. So I'm going to bring this one down just a little bit more. Then I want to bring it over, but I'm not going to draw a straight line. I want it to curve down a little bit. Do the same thing on this side. When they start to overlap, that's when we're going to bring it back up. Oops. One thing we're going to want to try not to do, though, is bring it up right on the middle line. We don't want it to be even. We want it to come up just a little bit over. There we go. All right, now back to the head. Now, not right on the middle, so let's make a little space inwards on both sides. That'll be where we start his eyes. Now for the bottom of the eye, we're gonna make just a little kind of a U shape. A slight U. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Now on the top half, we're gonna make a much larger side. So it's gonna be kind of an N shape, but it's gonna be a very tall N. And we want to do that on both sides. All right. Now inside of our eye shapes, we're going to start to make the actual eyeball. So that's going to be kind of a circular shape, but we're not going to really be able to draw the whole circle. So a lot of it is inside, or the shape we already drew. Really, we're kind of separating the circle from these two little triangular pieces on the side. That is our goal here, and we want to do that in both eyes. Again, our eyes should be relatively circle, so the top and the bottom should line up. Again, we're only really separating these triangles on the side. Next, we want to let's draw the pupil. So that's going to be the part that we eventually color in black. Let's make it a little bigger. I want to do that on both sides. And let's put a little light catcher in there. So what we're going to do is right on the corners, we're going to put a little circle. And let's try to make in the same spot on both eyes. That part we're gonna leave that part white. That's gonna be where this kind of the light is shining in his eyes. Now, not right in between his eyes, but just down a little bit, we're gonna make a small frown shape. This is gonna be for his nose, and we want to curve the ends just a little bit. And then we're going to make another line, not straight, we're going to curve it down just a little bit, almost like a frown line for his mouth. But I made mine a little too long. We don't want it to go too long, probably about from a little less than the middle of his eye. Should be how long his mouth is. All right. Now, I like to put some wrinkles on Yoda. He doesn't really have eyebrows, but he does have a lot of wrinkles on his face. So, again, kind of in the middle of his eye. We're going to come up a little bit, and let's put 1, 2. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. 1, 2. Let's put some up top. So kind of next to the middle line, I'm going to make a R shape. 1, 2. Let's do another one. On the opposite side, 1, 2. Let's put one under his eye. All right. He looks a little bit freaked out, but that's okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to come back to the robe for now. And we're going to start to make a line that goes not right at the edge, but we want to come in a little bit. So probably about right here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start to make his body. Now we want it to come down a little bit. And as it gets probably about the same height of his head, we want to start to curve out. But not a lot. Gotta fix this one. Oops. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect these two shapes, but not with a straight line. I want to curve out a little bit. So again, kind of making almost a smile line. This will help make it look a little bit more like he's coming towards me. Now, let's come back to his arms. So we want to go right back on the edge, kind of where we made the edge of his collar for his robe. And let's make a straight line coming down on both sides. Make sure they're about even. Yep. Now, let's start to make that cuff. Now, so again, we're going to bring it in, his arm, and then we're going to make kind of a, whoops. Let's come out, come down, and come back in. But notice I'm not coming in straight. I'm coming in at a little bit of an angle. I'm going to do that on the other side. So we're going to come out, we're going to come down, and we're going to come back in at a little bit of an angle. Now we're not going to see all of Yoda's hand. We're only seeing a little tiny side of it. So we're going to draw a little nub. It's going to come in towards his body. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make a little triangular shape to separate his thumb from where his fingers would be. Now to do that, we're going to make a little, almost like a sideways banana shape coming out of the side of his robe that we can shade in black. And again, that's separating the thumb from the rest of his fingers. Now I like to put some wrinkles on his his robe as well. I do 2 big ones, 2 little ones, and that is our basic Baby Yoda.
Hey everyone, I hope you guys had fun today. That was our Baby Yoda. You can pause it now to match the same colors, but you do not have to. I hope you guys had fun, and I'll see you next time.